Time travel. Is it something that is even possible? We all enjoy the idea of it, and the theories suggest under the right circumstances it may be at least theoretically possible. We all have our favorite movies and the notion of the possibilities, however the requirements remain unattainable. We are however able to capture records of time that become our past, in the forms of photographs, audio, and film or video. Let's look at what is left as records, and how we have advanced in even the last 200 years. This is the first known photograph of a human being. It was taken with a very long exposure in 1838, by Louis Daguerre. He used his famous daguerreotype process of photography. Because the exposure was so long, the only thing still that was captured was a man getting a shoe shine. He would never have learned that he was the first person photographed. A window back in time. This is a phonautograph. It was invented by Edouard Leon Scott, and it traced sound waves onto paper blackened by smoke. At the time in 1860 he had no way of knowing they were actually documenting audio, as they had no way of playing it. Listen to the first recording of a voice that we are now able to convert into sound. This is a woman singing Au clair de la lune in 1860. A ghost from 162 years ago. Throughout history we have attempted to communicate into the future, with writings or documentation, and then recordings. With the strides in technology we are now able to do amazing things and literally hear the past in some cases. Scientists have recreated the voice of an ancient, 3,000-year-old Egyptian mummy, using 3D printing, medical scanners, and an electronic larynx. This is a vocalization from a person that has not lived for 3,000 years. Time travel does indeed seem possible, to the past. We can look through a lens like a window, and see as well as hear people, places, and events. With film and video. These are images from New York City in 1900. No one you are seeing is alive today, but they have left their image, and a record that they were here. As you will see coming up, we are getting close to leaving a record of ourselves, that may be almost a complete copy of who we were, and the ability to expand beyond that. Bing Crosby talks about the death of Elvis Presley in August of 1977. Bing himself would die of a heart attack 2 months later after a game of golf. His voice and his image remain.
The other thing is, how do you actually last the pace? I mean, I see recent reports of Elvis Presley dying of old age at 42.
Yeah, that's a tremendous shame. I don't know how he got overweight, I guess, and worked very, very hard. I've never read the final story of what was the matter with him. Some said heart attack and a stroke or something.
Well, they said he had the insides, the arteries of a very old man when he died, and I wondered what your secret is. You seem to be as young as...
Well, like my mother and father achieved... well, my mother was 93 and my father was in his late 80s, so maybe it's a family trait. I mean, maybe it's because I do get a normal amount of rest. If I'm not out to dinner party or at some kind of a function, I'm in bed at 10, 15, maybe for days on end, and I always get up at 7, no matter what time I go to bed. Now, lately, if time allows, I take a little nap, get my feet up, you know. If it's only for 30 minutes, just lie down on your back with your feet a little higher than your head, and it revives you a little. But I don't do it every day, because I'm playing golf or something. And
Can we talk to your father?
Will I talk to my father?
Can we ask him a question?
He handles all my personal affairs.
Can we ask him a question? No. Can we ask your father a question?
Oh, sure.
The other Mr. Presley. At one point, did you realize that your son was more than your son and now a very, very famous person?
Well, it's kind of hard to say. You know, it happened so fast, it's hard to keep up with it, you know. It just boom overnight, and there it was.
But
So I'd say maybe probably 1956, the first television show.
do you have any regrets
I
that he's
tried to tell
become
him
that big?
sooner, but he wouldn't listen.
No, I have no regrets of it. In fact, I have enjoyed it, really.
All kidding aside, it happened very fast to all of us, my mother and my father and all of us. That, you know, everything happened overnight, and so we had to adjust to a lot of things very quickly. You know. A lot of good things. I might say.
Electricity is generated in the crowd and on stage. But it's my favorite part of the business, is a live concert.
How do you pace yourself?
Sir?
How do you pace yourself?
You mean physically, vocally, or?
So you are up when you need to be up.
I just, I exercise every day. I vocalize every day. I practice if I'm working or not. You know. So I just try to stay in shape all the time. Vocally and mentally. And
Which is harder?
well, both is tough, yeah. You got to work at them, but I don't mind it, you know. It's worth it.
We have now entered a time where we have the ability to recreate images, audio and people digitally. Roy Orbison has a hologram concert. Whitney Houston is back performing in Vegas. Technology seems to be moving at lightning speed, and some question the use of images in this way, and if it is ethical. Entertainers can virtually perform indefinitely. For some fans that were not able to see them while living, it is a way to still enjoy their music or performances. We are in a time period where digital rights to images and audio have become big business. With the push of a button, people can be heard and seen, and recreated. Even though no longer living, many stars are reappearing, and being credited as starring in films, television, and advertising. The ability to de-age actors and recreate scenes from the past is evolving at a fast pace. What is achievable changes literally monthly. A few short years ago it was quite obvious you were looking at CGI or a recreation. Today those lines are blurring with facial recognition and tracking becoming soon indiscernible. With computer capacities now, you literally can store all your memories, speech patterns, or your image within a hologram, or an avatar, and soon to be Android. Add to that the ever-advancing AI, and the ability to learn, and there becomes a complete representation of yourself, with the ability to learn past your years, on the planet Earth. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this presentation.